Welcome back to another episode of the Better Dog Cow podcast. On today's episode, I just want to come on here and do something different. Basically like a recap of my last week. Well, not last week, but a few days last week that meant a lot to me. It was a very dope experience. So last Thursday, I attended an event held by Brandon Jennings at Under Armour. Basically, like he had a collab with Under Armour with his brand Tuff crowd, and I signed up and I got I wouldn't say invited, but I signed up and I ended up going, and it was pouring, I'm not gonna lie, it was pouring rain and it was raining cats and dogs, but I still managed to pull up. It was a dope experience, good vibes, great people, great energy. I got to meet Brandon. That was really dope. Got to chop it up with him. Talk to him about, Gil's Arena and, certain things about, like, what does he think about, like, the outlook of the Bucks next year. I would say, just from my perspective and my experience meeting him, he's a really cool guy, really dope guy, great energy, very nice. I'm always appreciative of people that that I'm a fan of, being genuine. I'm appreciative of that because not everybody that you meet is going to be that down to earth and that cool. I've met people that I admire and I'm a fan of, and they turned out not to be what I expected. Some in a bad way, some in a good way. But me and him was really cool. I'm not going to say I was one of his biggest fans, but I watched him play. He was really good on the Bucks, and I followed his career from the Bucks to the Wizards to the Knicks, to the Magic, back to the Bucks, and even in retirement. I just remember being there and in that moment and just chopping it up with him and having these conversations and thinking, damn, I'm really in this guy's like presence right now. Not that I'm holding him on a high horse, but I'm a fan of basketball, so to meet certain guys that I'm a fan of, it's really cool. It means a lot. Like, I'll cherish that moment for the rest of my life. It was just really cool talking to him about like certain episodes on Gil's Arena and like just the brand and stuff, and just seeing him in that moment was dope. It was really cool. I told him, I'm like, I used to watch, because he had like a docu-series on Under Armour at one point in time in his career when he was still in the Bucks, I believe. It was called Under the Armour. It basically followed him in his off season when he would go back home to California and be with his friends and his family and just chilling and having fun and his downtime from when he wasn't playing basketball. And I just remember it was one episode that he came to New York. It was him. It was like on an Under Armour tour or something like that. It was him, Kemba, Grievous Vasquez, and Raymond Felton. He came to New York. He played in like this little basketball tournament. I forgot where. But it was one point in time when Sebastian Telfair, him and Brandon were going back and forth, and I think Bassie went up for a layup and Brandon blocked it or something like that, and he gets the ball and he tells him, like, get up. He tells Bassie to get up and go back on the other side, go back on the defensive end. And so he goes back on the defensive end and Brandon hits like a crazy layup, or it was either a crazy layup or a jump shot, and hits the game winner. Throws the ball into the stands, throws the ball into the crowd. Then he does the cat daddy. I told him that. I'm like, bro, I remember watching that shit like, oh shit, like this dude is cold. Like, he's cold, for real cold. And I remember another part where he was talking to Ryan Leslie, a R&B singer. They're like on the roof, and he's telling him about like his upcoming album at the time, how he was trying to like get different. He was trying to get like different vibes for different cities for his new album, and I always thought that was so cool. Then not just that whole night was just dope. I got to meet this dude named Steve. He does a lot of tattoos for a lot of NBA players, and that was cool too. He pulled up on me, but he pulled up on the side of me, trying to get something from trying to get like a seltzer water or water from the counter, and I chopped it up with him. I'm like, bro, I'm a big fan. Like, I'm a fan of your work. You do great work. He's like, I appreciate that. And that was dope too, because not even just Brandon, a lot of the people that I was in there, I'm a fan of what they do, because they're artistic, so they have a lot of like artistic stuff about themselves that I'm a fan of. And I respect anybody that's chasing the dream. And there's a lot of people in there that's dream chasers, that's self-employed, who make money off of something that they want to do. And I'll just sorry about that, but I just respect people and have a different love and admiration for people who chase their dreams. Just me and him was cool. Talking to him about different pieces that he's done, his most memorable piece, what got him into tattooing. Just asking him different questions about going under. How does he feel about people going under now for tattoos? He said he don't fuck with it. He says it's a cop out, which I respect, because you build a relationship with people when you're doing a tattoo. All my tattoos, I've had conversations with my tattoo artists about life, traveling, different experiences, and going under with anesthesia, it takes away from that. But I say all that to say, me and him was dope. I got to meet Nick DePaul. He works for Under Armour. He's big into sneakers, in their sneaker division. He's a really cool guy, very close to PJ Tucker. Got to ask him about he's a Kings fan, so I got to ask him about Sacramento, certain basketball teams that he's a fan of. Different experiences with him in the sneaker world. That was dope. Brandon had he raffled off some items from his new collab, which is pretty cool. He ended up leaving. I ended up going home, but that moment was just really dope for me. Fast forward to Saturday, Under Armour had their Under Armour Elite 24 game, the boys and girls in Brooklyn, and I popped out to that. That was that was a dope night. That was a vibe. That was probably the best part of my summer. I'm not gonna lie. I pull up. The guys, everybody's watching the USA game on the jumbotron at half court, and they ended up winning. Congratulations to Team USA for winning the gold. They ended up winning. So I go into the bleachers. I'm just sitting, just taking it all in. I'm watching, the girls warm up, which is pretty cool. That was dope. I'm seeing certain people. As time goes on, I'm seeing certain athletes, certain basketball players pull up that I haven't seen in a long time. I met TJ Klein. He plays for Power in Ice Cube's Big Three. I met him. His mom was one of the coaches for the girls team. I met Grievous Vasquez. He used to play for the Raptors. He used to play for the Nets. He played for the Bucks. He played in the league for a little minute. It was dope meeting him. Just chop it up to see how he's been, because for a lot of guys, when they're detached from basketball for so long, it's fans. It's not that fans don't know who some of these players are. Basketball is a universal sport. It's played by a lot of people. I feel for some fans, they feel especially the younger generation, they only know what they see on the internet. If they don't see you, they don't know you, if that makes sense. If they don't see you on the internet, get a post every day about Ball is Life or Basketball Forever or ESPN or whatever basketball thing it is, Overtime, they're not going to know who you are until somebody has to show them who they are to them, or they're not going to know. And me being who I am, I loving basketball so much, it's certain guys that if they walked down the block, I would know who they are because I watched them. It's not just me watching Curry, Kevin Durant, and LeBron. I'm a fan of the game. It's certain guys that I watch that if I tell their names to the younger generation, they're not going to know who that guy is. I would have to sit down with them and show them their YouTube highlights for them to be like, oh, wow, he was really good, which is fine. I feel that's a dope thing about me because I'm very attentive and I'm very detailed with certain guys that I've watched. So I got to see Grievous Vasquez. I got to meet him, talk to him. I asked him how he's doing. He says he's doing good. It was just dope to see him. De'Aaron Fox was there. Didn't get a chance to meet him, but just him us being in the same room was I don't got to meet him. Us being in the same room was just it was even dope. It made up for not meeting him, not chopping it up with him. I got to meet Keontae George from the Utah Jazz. Big fan of him. When he was at IMG, followed his career when he went to Baylor. Now he's heading into his second year with the Utah Jazz, which is pretty cool. I wish him all the best. That was a dope experience. Got to meet Ian Jackson from the Bronx, going to UNC. That was my second. This is my second time meeting him. I met him at the Nike festival last year in Manhattan. That was pretty dope too. chopped it up with him for a little bit, told him good luck. Anybody that I meet, I always wish them luck. Like, I wish you the best in the upcoming season. You're going to do great things. And I just let them know that, you have a fan of me. Like, I'll be following you. Who else? I got to meet this high school kid. His name's Caden Lewis. He's from the DMV area. Dope basketball player. Cut from his middle school team or high school team, I believe. He went unranked to now he has 31 offers. He just put out like his top 8 like 2 weeks ago. I told him, I'm like, bro, I'm a big fan. Like, it's not just me like following just high school, not just besides high school. It's not just me following NBA. I follow all basketball. Like, I will watch high school basketball. Like, I found myself watching high school basketball. Like, becoming fans from an early, not early age, but becoming a fan from an earlier standpoint for certain guys in their early basketball career. So I watch high school, and I like it because I get to watch the guys like start from ground level and build themselves up, whether that's the NBA or going overseas. Like, I'll be a fan forever. Like, it's not just me. It's not just, oh, they're in the NBA, so they got to go to the NBA, or I'm going to just stop following them because they're not in the NBA. Like, I follow them if they go to the NBA, if they go overseas, if they go to the G League, whatever league they end up in, I'm going to be following them, especially if it's somebody that I'm a fan of, genuinely a fan of. So it was good chopping up with him. I got to tell him, like, I asked him, like, what was your mindset going through? Because we took a picture, so I'm asking him, like, bro, what was your mindset going through when you got cut? Like, he was like, I just kept going. Like, I kept pushing through, and I'm like, that's dope, bro. Like, I really appreciate that. Like, that's really cool. Dapped him up, and I'm like, I'll be following you. Like, good luck on your decision. He's like, I appreciate that. So the girls' game ends, the boys' game starts, and it's so many people. Like, it got packed, and it was just so many people that pulled up. Like, so many ball players, like Shabazz Napier. He won 2 national championships with UConn. I remember watching him with Kemba Walker, Ryan Boatwright. I remember watching him with Shabazz. They won a national championship. Lance Stevenson pulled up. Isaiah Whitehead pulled up. Shiggy pulled up. And I'm not a UConn fan, but me living in New York, on the days that NBA wasn't on, I would watch, Big East basketball. That's what's around Big East. And I just remember watching, the UConns, the Seton Halls, the Georgetowns, the St. John's. I just remember watching those teams. So I really remember those moments of these guys like playing. The game goes on. Brandon's coaching Team Fire, and Jarius Walker is coaching Team Ice, which he's a rookie. Well, he's not a rookie, but he's going to his second year with the Pacers. He went to IMG with Keontae George, and I got to meet him too. I told him, I'm like, I'm a big fan. He was like, bro, I appreciate that. That's what's up. I really appreciate it. And it was really cool meeting him. And just the whole night, like, the game ends, Team Ice wins. Everybody's going on the court, meeting everybody. I'm meeting. I got to meet Lance Stevenson. I got to meet Cassie Athena. Big fan of her. She's a photographer. She does great work with NBA players, not even just NBA players, entertainers too. Like, her photography is top notch, top tier. Got to chop it up with her. I told her, I love your story. I'm a fan. Because it's deeper than basketball, bro. Like, I'm a fan of a lot of different things, a lot of different people. But her being in that space, I want to just, and it's a lot of times it's like, even if I don't get the photo with them and like it's a short conversation, I just want to give them that reassurance that, I'm a fan of what you do, whether that's basketball, photography, or whatever I enjoy being a fan of. Like, I just want to give them their flowers and let them know, like, I can't speak for everybody else, but me being who I am, I appreciate what you do, and I'm a fan of what you do. But like I said, the game ends. Everybody goes on the court. The young kids, bum rushing all the high school players. I was just got done playing. Like I said, I got to meet Cassie. We took a picture. I go further back into the court, and Brandon's just by himself. Well, he's not by himself. He's with his son and a couple of his boys. and I'm just chopping it up with him. I'm asking him about like Gil's Arena, specifically the episode when Rashad and Patrick Beverly went at it the first time, and Brandon starts laughing. He was like, we was just trying to get the truth out of the situation, like what was going down with Pat Bev and Rashad. And I'm just like, I'm laughing. I'm like, bro, like that episode was so crazy because it was really like heated. It was a heated like conversation, and he was just telling me like, with the show we just have a lot of fun. Well, what we do, like we just having fun. We just talking, having some heated debates, but we just really enjoy it. Like just know that we just having fun with it. And I just told him, I'm like, bro, like, if you don't mind, can I get a photo? He was like, yeah, we can take a photo. And by far, out of every athlete that I met so far, and I don't know if this video gets him. I didn't make it for him to see it. If he does, it's going to be on YouTube. So if he sees it, he sees it. But I just wanted to say that he's probably the nicest athlete that I've met this far. Like, genuinely a nice guy. And to be able to chop it up with him for as long as we did chop it up, both days, Thursday and Saturday, was dope, and that meant a lot. Like I was so hyped for the last few days. I'm still on a high from that, and that shit was last Saturday, and I'm just still on the high from that. Just meeting them because I'm not from California, so I didn't watch him in high school, but I watched a little bit at Oak Hill. I've done a lot of research on his story. Him bypassing college and going to overseas, going to Rome, and being there for a year, going to the draft, being drafted 10th overall. I watched him on the Bucks. He played with a lot of vets. I remember the game against Curry, scoring 55. That was dope. I watched him when he came to the Knicks, played with Melo and D Rose, and I've studied him. Like certain people I'm a fan of, I've studied their careers. Like I try to like do my research on their whole story instead of just, oh well, they're in the NBA now. I'm gonna wait till they get to NBA. Now I'm gonna do my research. For me, it was more so, if I'm a fan of them, I'm gonna watch the interviews. I'm gonna watch the podcast. I'm gonna read up on them. I'm gonna do whatever I can to just get as much information as I can about them, because everybody has a story, and I want to be the type of fan. Well, I am the type of fan where I try to do my research, do my due diligence, and like read up on their stories and the things that they've gone through to get to where they are, the things that they had to overcome to get to where they are. And for Brandon, if you know his story, if you did your research on his story, he's overcome a lot to get to where he is now. And to see him post career being a brand owner, a brand owner, to getting back with Under Armour, him doing collabs with Curry, him just giving his resources and his knowledge to the younger generation is pretty dope, because I feel like for a lot of guys, when they're detached, and I said it before, when they get detached from the NBA, I don't want to say that they get forgotten, but from the masses, from certain people, they get forgotten. And for basketball to be a part of their lives, from them playing it from a young age, that's all they ever known. So for a lot of guys that I've done a lot of research on, post basketball career, a lot of NBA players, they find it hard to find a life outside of basketball, because that's all they've ever known. So it's hard for a lot of them to find different hobbies and stuff like that to get into, because all they know is basketball. But for somebody like him, he said that Tuff Crowd started in 2018, and it started off as a small brand. Like, he would wear the shirts, and I would see the shirts. I'm like, damn, bro, like I gotta get one of them shirts. Them shirts are so tough. And I ended up getting like the black shirt and the white shirt, and that was like the first. And I'm gonna say it, for me, that was the first heavyweight tee. That was the first heavyweight tee I've ever owned, a Tuff Crowd tee. And those tees is so like, they last. And I love clothing like that. Me getting older, like I love clothing that lasts. I want it to last a long time. And that shirt lasts. Like it really does. Like I've had those shirts maybe like 4 years now, maybe 4 to 3 years now, and they're still as tough as the day that I bought them. And that brand has slowly grew, and he's doing great things with it. I recently bought something from his new collab. I bought a gray shirt that's on its way here. But I say all not to get long-winded on some of these videos, but I say that all to say that those days were dope. It meant so much to me. Just to give Brandon his flowers, bro. You're that guy, bro. Like, you're that guy. I wish you all the best with your brand, with Girls Arena. Like, comment, subscribe.